Nope, I left it completely. What happened? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. From wherever you are joining us today, we're delighted to have you with us. It is my great pleasure as part of the Togetherness Project 2020, Dreamforce initiative, to introduce a community inspired event or a Dreamforce inspired event this holiday season. My name is Michelle Morani. I lead a team that supports our systems integrator partnerships here at Coveo. And today we have with us Shundo David Hay, who is an ordained Zen priest. He came from England in the year 2000 to live at the San Francisco Zen Center and spent 15 years in residential training, including 5 years of monastic practice at Tassajara. He helped found and run the successful young urban Zen practice group at the Zen Center. And although he really does love the robes and the rituals, Shundo is interested in reaching people who will never set foot inside a Zen temple, probably like me. He teaches at tech companies, schools, colleges, yoga studios, retreat centers, and even the county jail. And he leads regular mindfulness hikes around San Francisco, as well as a weekly outdoor meditation, I think probably prior to COVID, although maybe socially distanced now as well. Anyway, I was introduced to Shundo through his meditations, along with my young children. We love listening to his nighttime meditations. And when I started leveraging the Simple Habit app to support my own meditation practice, they're some of my favorites. So I was delighted when I discovered that he taught outside of the Zen Center. And it's really with great pleasure that I now hand off our time together this morning to Shundo.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Thank you for inviting me. Thanks to everyone at Coveo for making this possible. And hello to you wherever you are. I'm greeting you from sunny and warm San Francisco. So let's take a moment, just wherever you find yourself, close your eyes. And get yourself comfortable in whatever seat you have. Take a couple of breaths. And what do you notice? There's no right or wrong answer for this. The noticing is whatever you notice. We just had the garbage collectors going by in front of the house, which you may just hear in the background. What is happening in the present moment for you? This can be internal or external. When you start to pay attention, what is it that arises? So the request of any mindfulness meditation is very simple. We're choosing to pay attention to the present moment without judgment. So there's 3 elements to that. There's the choosing part. So we're bringing ourselves into this space, into this moment, and focusing our attention. And what are we focusing it on? The present moment. Now, most of us are living in the present. We're all living in the present. But most of us, for most of the time, our minds are off in the past, in the future. We're rehashing old conversations, old scenarios, reliving traumas and situations from the past. Or we're planning more or less anxiously for what's coming up. And so we're not paying attention to the full scope of the present moment. And meditation is our chance to do that. So whatever you're noticing inside yourself at this moment, and whatever you're noticing around you, that's what we're choosing to focus on. And then the without judgment part is the most important part, because our minds are so apt and ready and well trained to produce judgments at any opportunity. So I might think, oh no, the garbage truck is going by just as I'm starting my meditation. That's terrible. I can't possibly do it. Everything's a failure. That's just my mind speaking. The garbage truck is not interfering with my meditation. My mind is interfering with my meditation. So we're taking time to understand the workings of the mind, how it jumps in, how it takes us away. And we're choosing to focus on different parts of our lived experience. So our bodies are always in the present. So we're choosing to highlight the experience of our bodies in whatever way that might appear to you at the moment. So right now I'm sitting in a traditional cross-legged posture because that makes sense for me in meditation. Or however you're sitting, I encourage you to find kind of length in the torso. Sitting up straight if you're sitting, giving yourself length and openness in the front of the body. And then give yourself room to breathe. Many meditation traditions focus on the breath because it's always available to us in the present moment. And it's also indicative of our state of mind and our state of being. So when we're in a stressful state of mind or stressful state, surrounded by fast-moving things, a lot of stimulus, we're going to be breathing very shallow breaths from the top of the chest. That's an evolutionary response that allows us to move quickly and make quick decisions. And hopefully, this is not where you are right now. Maybe it was where you were 5 minutes ago or 10 minutes ago, maybe where you will be in half an hour or an hour. But our work now is to let go of the fact that our mind can hold that information and wants us to be ready. Let go of that and just be where we are right now. And allow the breath to slow down and deepen. Allow the breath to fill the whole belly. This is where having an upright posture can be very helpful. Most of us spend a lot of our lives hunched over, especially if we're looking down at our phones. And that constricts the lungs and the heart. So particularly in the meditation tradition I was taught in Zen school, we really focus on upright sitting, really allowing the spine to be strong, being upright and balanced, and allowing the free movement of the lungs and the diaphragm each time we breathe. So notice now if as you're breathing, your stomach is rising and falling. And just for a few moments, you can allow that to be the sole focus of your attention. And every time we do this, every time we settle in stillness and silence, we notice what arises. So again, as I go quiet, I can hear traffic outside, I can hear the neighbor's baby. And I just take that in without the judgment. Just noticing the fact of those sounds. We can maybe notice the impact or the energy that different sounds have on us. And it may be also that as we get quiet and still, the other internal sensations arise. So maybe tune in to see if there is something arising for you that may be unexpected, maybe a little uncomfortable, maybe a little joyful. And whatever arises, just allow yourself to taste it, to hold it gently, to meet it with kindness and patience and compassion. And continue that steady, deep breath into the base of the belly. How is the body responding to that breath? And if you're feeling tense, you can extend the out breath. Try to release that tension through the breath. If you're feeling sleepy, you can extend the in breath, bringing more energy into the body. And this is such a simple thing to do, and yet we find the mind resisting and trying to take us off somewhere else. So again, we just notice that tendency of the mind. It's the brain performing its natural function. So we notice that and we don't get caught up in it. Whatever thoughts from the past, whatever thoughts from the future, just letting them rise and fall. When we get caught up in a thought, wherever it takes us, it's always taking us away from the present moment, from that experience that we're having right now. So each time, kindly, and without judgment, bringing your attention back to the present, to the breath, to the weight of your own body, to the sensations inside and outside. And just notice how that feels for you now. So here in San Francisco, we've just gone down into a lockdown again. Back where we were in March when the pandemic was starting. And I remember at the time, my Zen friends and I were joking like, oh, we're going back into monastic retreat again. And it seemed that the people I knew who had that kind of training didn't find lockdown quite so difficult. We're used to work going inwards, having less external stimulus, not getting to move so much. But very real costs and effects of going into lockdown, personally and interpersonally. And I found that every time I've sat down this year since the pandemic started, taking a space in meditation has allowed me to uncover those feelings and impacts in myself. So taking this time to really allow whatever feelings are coming up for you around this very particular time, allow them to arise, allow them to bubble up, allow them to present themselves. In our day-to-day lives, we're so busy, we have so much to accomplish, and it's very easy to ignore those deeper feelings, those quieter feelings. It's very easy to push them down and say, no, I have more important things to take care of right now. But in this time and in this space, just allowing those emotions to arise, allowing those feelings to be known, comfortable or uncomfortable. For me, the predominant emotion this year has been grief, but that grief has mainly spoken to me during meditation, not as I live the rest of my life. But give space for that. Meditation is the perfect practice for giving space to whatever arises. And when we give that kind of space, just paying attention to whatever it is that comes up, letting go of any agenda or any sense that we have to resolve something or find a solution, just letting those things come up. It's often true that just acknowledging the feelings that are arising is a part of transforming them. Just for me to say to myself, I'm feeling grief this year. I'm feeling sad that I can't spend time with my friends. I can't be nourished by the presence of other people. Noticing the impact that has on my body and on my mental being. Just acknowledging that, give a little room, allows it to be. Again, trying not to get caught by it or feeling overwhelmed by it. We're just giving it the space that it needs and seeing what happens when we do that. So this is a very poignant time, a time in the holidays when we normally expect to spend a lot of time with people. We usually have a lot going on. And this year it's going to be very different, as so many things have been different this year. So giving ourselves the time and space to acknowledge the impact that has on our body, on our physical well-being and our mental well-being is a really important step to allow us to continue to meet this challenge day by day. We've been living with this for so long that many of us are kind of getting tired of the restrictions and the challenges. At the same time, we can see the possibility of a vaccine changing everything, but we're not there yet. And that tension is in itself a challenge. But it's okay to feel challenged. You don't have to have everything sorted out. You don't have to be doing everything perfectly. It's good to give yourself time to acknowledge that you're not feeling great all the time. When people say, oh yeah, I'm really crushing it, I always wonder what it is that's getting crushed. So it's a gift in these challenging times to give yourself time and space to acknowledge, find space for what's going on internally. And now, wherever you find your mind, just bringing it back to the breath, relaxing completely. Maybe taking note of how you feel now. Cast your mind back to the beginning of the session. And just note what effect this time of practice has had. And hopefully it's been a beneficial effect. Usually in the Zen school we don't guarantee anything, but the trend of meditation is usually beneficial. And if you've had your eyes closed, open them again and just take in your surroundings. Take in the light, the color, the shapes. Ground yourself back into the space you're in. And thank yourself for giving yourself this time, and we can thank each other for sharing this time and space, even if we're not getting to do it in real life, in person. We're still connecting. We're still being here together. And even if meditation might seem like an isolating activity, really it does bring us together as we recognize we're all experiencing similar things in this time. I know as part of the togetherness that Coveo is encouraging offerings to the family giving tree. So if you feel moved to do that, I think you can find the links very easily on the page. It's together_FGT. And I want once again to thank Michelle for offering this opportunity, and we'll be back Wednesday and Friday at the same time. So if you've enjoyed this, please come again, please tell your friends, and thank you once again for being here with us.
Shanda, thank you. I can't think of a better way to start the week. We hope everyone will join us on Wednesday and Friday of this week. Have a great day.
Thanks very much.